Dear brothers and sisters, it is often a matter of a very close resemblance between something that is coming from God, virtue, wisdom, and something coming from devil, corruption, destruction, blindness. It may look as though it's the same thing, unless we have two things. We have a deep spiritual life, and we can feel that there is something fake. And also reflection. The Lord gave us these abilities to distinguish the spirits, and the ability to understand wisdom, okay, to gain knowledge. And the Holy Spirit is also called the Spirit of knowledge, of understanding. So today I want to discuss with you this topic of obedience, because very often it's both understood in the wrong way within the church, okay, by us, and creating false spirituality, creating blind obedience, and also criticism from outside of the church that you're fanatics, okay, you don't think, you don't want to think, okay, you are all retrogrades. You don't have any feeling of responsibility for what you do because you blindly obey things, and this creates big problem. So what is the problem with the obedience? Okay, because obedience is a great virtue. It's a great Christian virtue, which is the basic, one of the basic, virtues. Because if we want to be saved, we need to be obedient to God, to His will. We have to follow the narrow path. The narrow path, meaning that we constrain ourselves in that we want to run away, we want to do something else. But we know that the will of God is this, and we have to obey in order to be on the path to salvation and to be accomplishing the will of God. So let's come one at a time, okay? First of all, the Old Testament, it brings to us this problem of people who don't want to follow God, okay? Gentiles and also the Jews. And the prophets are very often sent to the people of Israel to call them to repentance. And they say that you are, through them, the Lord is telling that Israel, you are people with a stiff neck. Okay, stiff neck means proudness, means stubbornness. Okay, your neck is stiff. Okay, you don't want to bend it. Okay, that means that you are, you know what you do. You know what you want. Okay, and you are, okay. You stick to what you need. What you feel important, and okay, this is something that determines all your life. So the Lord is trying to bend their neck, okay, and even He introduces this commandment of circumcision, okay, which reminds them that they have sacrificed their life to God, because this ritual of cutting this piece of flesh means that you're cutting your own will. Okay, this is this symbolism that you are driven by your own will in different directions, but now you're cutting it away, and meaning that you're submitting yourselves to God. And of course, just doing this circumcision would not by itself change your heart. It was only a reminder, and it was like a prophecy about what is coming. because what came is the spiritual circumcision, which came in the New Testament, and the Apostle Paul is telling us that are not those who are circumcised in flesh are the true venerators of God, the true servants of God, but those who have circumcision in the spirit. Okay, their spirit is circumcised, so they obey the Lord's will. Okay. However, the problem comes. Okay, the problem comes. Now we have people, like almost everyone. Okay, many. We see it massively in Asia and those socialist countries. It's even more. People are willing to obey. We saw this, okay, with the crisis 3 years ago. People willing to obey for what? For the sake of safety, for the sake of benefits, for the sake of being accepted by others. This is the spirit of Mammon. Okay, the spirit of Mammon is like a big, bureaucratic organism, say government, okay, bureaucracy. That you are told instructions that you have to do, and you're like mechanism, you just do what you're told to do, and you don't have any other responsibilities. Anytime anyone asks why you do this, you say, because I was told, this is the instruction, I just follow the instruction. And this is what happened in Nazi Germany. Okay, that some of those people who were killing millions of people, they said, we don't know nothing. This famous Eichmann trial in Jerusalem in the 70s. Okay, I was just obeying the rules, I didn't do anything. Millions were killed in the gas chambers, but I didn't do anything because it's just instructions. I was just a good worker, okay? So some people say, oh, you see, this is a virtuous person because he is doing his job very well. He doesn't ask questions, okay? He just obeys the instructions. You can trust him, you can rely upon him. But that makes a human just a mechanism, okay? Just a part of the big structure, which very often is a structure of Leviathan, of the prince of this world, because it has earthly goals, okay? So it doesn't involve freedom, it doesn't need much understanding, okay? It just needs this blind obedience, that's it. However, the obedience that we're talking about, the Christian obedience, it's completely different, okay? It needs complete understanding what you're abiding, okay? Why are you abiding? And the complete rejection of your old self, okay? This lazy, stubborn self, egoistic, and you obey the Lord. And that makes you servant of God. And actually, in the Orthodox tradition, we say slave of the Lord, not just servant of the Lord. Slave, because you belong to your master and you do the will of your master. And there is nothing bad about that, okay? There is nothing humiliating about calling yourselves a slave of God. However, everything can be perverted. So we see how this gets perverted in the church, okay? That people don't want to think. Okay, so now what the big risk which is coming with all of this? The big risk is that the church became big, and the church had to develop some kind of relationship with the government. So in developing this relationship, the church needs, okay, the church chose to accept some help coming from the government in building the churches, in creating Christian schools, in revising the laws so that they would fit Christian morality, in developing the mission. Okay, in many things the church accepted the help of the government. However, in return, the government is expecting the church to support its agenda. And this is where things are getting very risky. Because this agenda may not be in line with the will of God. And Christ himself, he never said anything in support of secular government agenda. And he said that just give back those things that belong to Caesar, and those things that belong to God. Okay? And he said that my kingdom does not belong to this world. Okay? So we need to remember these things. Okay? We need to remember these things. So whenever there is this sacralization of government or of some country or some nation, there is a big risk that is also the agenda of the mammon is creeping in instead of the will of God. And people may not even notice this, and they will say that this comes from God. God created this country. God created this government. Okay, we have to obey by the laws of this government. So be it so. This is the will of God. Okay, this is a great mistake and a great fallacy that can happen, and it does happen. Okay, and at the end, the devil will try to put completely, okay, using these some external forms of Christianity, will use his own agenda. For example, in the West, in Latin America and other places, there is this problem when from the left. Okay, there is a problem. I've just spoken. Is a problem of the right. Okay, when these rightist ideologies, they are trying to present themselves as Christian. But there is also this leftist ideology. Okay, for example, in Latin America, this liberation theology and other things. And I can show you this book, Woke Jesus. Okay, this is the putting the socialist values and trying to persuade people that this is Christianity. However, they just use this external likeness, okay, external some slogans coming from Christianity, but they put a completely different content into this ideology, into the content is completely different. So it becomes anti-Christian. So no matter whether you're talking about rightist politics, leftist politics, okay, at the end of the day, okay, it's all about power. At the end of the day, it's about this control through power, through force, okay, not through love, or maybe through brainwashing, okay, this soft power, brainwashing, zombie, okay. So we don't want to be zombies, okay. We want to have the true obedience. The true obedience is an everyday sacrifice, is an everyday martyrdom. Okay, take up your cross and follow me. This is what the Lord tells us. And this cannot be blind. This cannot be this cannot be unconscious. Okay, you have to make this choice every day. Okay. So this is a Christian asceticism. To be obedient is to be very active. Okay, it's not passive. It's not about passive, about blind, just to receive. Oh, this, okay, I will do this. No, it's very. That's why also the example of Saint Mary is a great example for us, in that she obeyed the law of God. Unlike those stubborn Israelites who chose something else, she said that may the will of God be upon me. I am the slave of God, that's what she said. And may the maiden or slave, it's a woman slave, female slave, may His will be upon me. I will comply, even though it's going to be hard, it's going to be a lot of shame, a lot of pain, but I will do whatever the Lord wants, and will follow Him till the end. May the Lord give us such hearts. May the Lord teach us true obedience, and not to be distracted by all this revolutionary thinking. Okay, you have to be revolutionary, you have to be free, you have to be self-confident. The Christian doesn't worry much about this, because the God is with him. But he needs to worry about his Pharaoh. Okay, this old self that is in me, which is selfish, stubborn, blind, vicious. Okay, has all kinds of passions, and I have to abandon all of that, and I have to constrain myself, and I have to follow my Lord. And we receive the great joy, spiritual joy, from following Him. May this joy be with us. May the Lord bless us and give us the strength to follow Him and to avoid all kinds of deception. Amen. God bless.